This week we have Venus, ruler of the divine feminine, moving into Aries, first sign of the zodiac. And we have Pluto, planet of transformation and regeneration, turning to retrograde motion at 3 degrees of Aquarius. All of this, an empowered moment and more in my new intuitive energy forecast for the week of Monday, April 28th through Sunday, May 4th, 2025. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, starseed astrologer and spiritual messenger from Sacred Soul Empowerment. And for this week's intuitive energy forecast, we're going to be using the Tarot of Dreams by Ciro Marchetti. That will be the main message for everyone. Your special message card this week, depending on your stone of choice, is going to be coming from the Earth Magic Oracle deck by Stephen Farmer. So before we get into the astrology of the week or even your stones of choice, let's go ahead, settle in, and do an empowered moment. So close your eyes, relax your body, clear your mind of all thoughts. Take a deep breath, and as you inhale, breathing in peace and groundedness. And as you exhale, letting go of all that your body, mind, and soul no longer needs. Visualizing gold and white light of unconditional love, compassion, healing, and guidance all around you. And as you see or sense or feel or just know that you're surrounded in that gold and white light, take in another deep breath and breathe it into every cell of your body. As you exhale, letting your body relax even more. And let's focus on the energy of transformation and what that looks like to you. What does transformation look like? Does it have a particular color or shape? Do you see a picture in your mind's eye that leads to the type of transformation you desire in your life? How does transformation feel to you? Does it feel uplifting and joyous? Or does it feel a little heavy and anxious? Surround yourself again in that golden white light, seeing, sensing, feeling, or just knowing that protective, unconditionally loving, compassionate golden white light is all around you. Feel the presence of the divine. Feel the nurturing of Mother, Father, God. And as you take a deep breath, breathe in that loving, nurturing, healing energy, and at the same time, breathing in the intention of positive transformation in your life. And as you exhale, releasing any worries or concerns, having total trust and faith as you surrender to the divine plan. And when you feel ready in your own time, you can open your eyes, return to this time and place and space. And let's go ahead and take a look at our stones of choice for the special message card a little bit later. Okay, so our first stone of choice, these are special intention pendants. You can find these and a lot more on my website, Sacred Soul Empowerment, if they call to you. This one is a powerful piece of red coral. So the red coral is wrapped in silver wire. It's Reiki charged with the vibration of the number 1, the number of leadership, individuality, and new beginnings. The energy of the planet Mars, planet of energy, action, willpower, and motivation. This has the activation of the root chakra for healthy physical vitality and manifestation abilities infused into it. And the energy of Archangel Michael, the archangel of assisting one on the next step of your highest and most important destiny path. Okay. And then pendant number 2. This one is a very delicate one. So if you like small, delicate pendants, this one might be for you. It's a piece of ruby, red, really dark red ruby. It's wrapped in gold wire, and it's Reiki infused with the idea or the vibration of the number 2, number of relationships and equality. The energies of both signs of Libra and Scorpio, signs that rule partnership and passion. This one has infused into it the water element for feelings, emotions, intuition, and deep connections. And Archangel Shamuel's energy, the archangel who assists us in finding our soulmate, along with Venus Aphrodite, the goddess of love, beauty, and merging with another. Okay, and then our last stone of choice here is, this is in its raw state. Well, the coral really is too. But this is a raw carnelian. It's one of my favorites, actually. It's a deep, dark orange color. It's wrapped in gold wire with the vibration of the number 3, number of creativity and communication. The energy of Libra and Scorpio. I didn't realize that it's the same signs as the last one. This time, the intention, though, for Libra and Scorpio being infused into this is for harmony and merging of energies and partnerships. The activation of the sacral chakra for healthy sexuality and passion within relationships. The energies of the water element for intuition and clear feeling, and connection to Goddess Pele, goddess of passions and heart's desires. So again, your stones of choice. And I don't know if you can really see the color of this, so let me just move that back. Well, I don't know if that's helpful. This is red coral. This one is dark red ruby. And then we've got, I can see the orange a little bit better, the orange carnelian, the raw carnelian. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the energy for the week, astrologically speaking. By the way, this takes us into a new month. This shifts us into the month of May. So if you haven't already watched the month of May's intuitive energy forecast, that should be up around the same time as this one, give or take a day or two. So be on the lookout for the May energy forecast on my YouTube channel as well. So the first thing of significance for this week, it actually happens on April 30th. And this is about Venus, the planet that rules the divine feminine energies. Venus rules love, relationships. She rules our personal resources like money and finances, our gifts, our talents, our time, our energy. She also rules values, what we value, and how we value ourselves. So she rules our sense of self-worth. She's moving out of Pisces and into Aries. Now, she did visit Aries for a short time some weeks ago before she went retrograde. She went retrograde back into Pisces, the last sign of the zodiac. So she's been spending most of her days lately in the sign of Pisces. Now she's ready to move back into Aries, first sign of the zodiac, fire sign, passionate sign, leadership sign. So this is about confidence and courage and bold action and initiation. She's going to be in Aries from April 30th until June 6th. So it gives us just a little bit over a month to enjoy this more, what do I want to say, active and maybe empowering divine feminine energy. Because Aries, again, besides what I've already mentioned, is also about individuality and independence and taking charge. And so I kind of like that. She's maybe not the happiest in Aries because her home sign is either Libra or Taurus, but I feel like she's going to be very strong here. And on Friday, the 2nd of May, we're still going to talk about Venus a little bit here. So Friday, the 2nd of May, Venus is in Aries, and she's going to be connecting to Neptune. And Neptune is in Aries as well. Now, Neptune is the planet that rules the spiritual realm. It rules our nighttime dreams. It rules our visions. It rules the connection to the unseen and the intangible, also our angels and guides, our psychic senses, our healing abilities. Sometimes the shadow of Neptune can be about illusion or confusion or lack of boundaries, not seeing things clearly. But I think it's going to soften Venus a little bit as Venus connects with Neptune on Friday. You know, she's just gone into Aries and she's feeling strong and ambitious and whatnot. But as she connects with Neptune, it's just going to soften and bring her back to her, I think, feminine self a little bit more, her intuitive self, her creative self. I feel like, you know, this can actually be a good combination, because as she's in Aries, which is this sign of taking charge and taking action and planting these new seeds and making things happen, as she merges with Neptune, she can use this creative and intuitive and free-flowing and kind of imaginative almost energy to be able to move forward on her path. And then on Sunday the 4th, we have Pluto, planet of power and control, planet of death and rebirth, planet of transformation and regeneration, turning to retrograde motion at 3 degrees of Aquarius. Now, Pluto stays retrograde for a really long time because it's a very slow-moving planet. It only really moves about 1 to 2 degrees per year. So as it retrogrades, it's going to retrograde all the way back to 1 degree of Aquarius. And that is going to be until October 13th. So it's definitely done with its transit through Capricorn. No longer is it going to retrograde back into Capricorn. And, you know, as it does retrograde, you can see how long of a time this is. From May 4th until October 13th, it's in retrograde motion. And it's only retrograding from 3 degrees back to 1 degree of Aquarius. So the most potent time period that we might feel this retrograde is when it's turning retrograde. So this can be, I'm going to say, for us who are highly sensitive, which is a lot of you out there probably watching this video, up to a week before Pluto turns retrograde, which is pretty much this whole week, until about maybe a week after it's retrograde. Now, of course, Pluto retrograde is internalizing this energy of power, empowerment versus disempowerment. When it turns within, it's us looking to take back our power, to own our own inner power, and to transform ourselves from the inside out. But again, even though it's happening during the course of time that Pluto is retrograde, we're going to feel again a magnification of the energies of what Pluto rules for about 2 weeks here, this week and next week, as it's just kind of shifting its direction. Now, on a collective level, Pluto may bring up some power and control issues, because that is one of the things that it is about. It can bring up these disempowering situations and circumstances, and it can be in our lives personally, but it can also be, again, on a collective level, that there's something going on with powerful organizations, for instance, or powerful people, for instance, where they really kind of rise into an over-abuse maybe of some sort of power. This can also be, as far as situationally on a collective level, something to where there's a big transformation. There's a big change and transition that's happening, because Pluto does deal with big change and big transition. Pluto is also about transmuting lower vibrational energies. He rules the underworld in mythology. So there might be something beneath the surface, something that most of the collective has been unaware of, where Pluto's trying to unearth it and bring it up to the surface. You know, Pluto works with our subconscious on an individual level, kind of bringing up old subconscious patterns to the surface so we can transmute them and heal them and release them and let them go. So on a collective level, Pluto may be unearthing something that's been hidden from the collective so that it can be transformed and transmuted. And of course, these kind of things don't happen overnight, right? Whether it's individually or on a collective level. But this is going to be the beginning of some sort of big change and transition, potentially speaking. All right. And I want to say too, the guides are saying to make sure and mention, even though I say it's most powerful this week and next week as it's shifting directions, there is times when Pluto is set off by other planets, right? We're going to have some of that coming up, right? Where the sun squares Pluto, and the sun is about our ego and it's challenging Pluto, and Mercury, which rules our mind and our thoughts, might challenge Pluto, so that we're challenged, with how we look at something or perceive something or believe something. Venus, the planet of relationships, if she challenges Pluto throughout the weeks to come, then there's maybe some things coming up in our relationships or in financial matters that need to be tended to. So there are other periods of time where this energy, this theme of power and disempowerment and empowerment and death and rebirth and transformation and regeneration all comes up to the surface. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the messages from our angels and guides. So the first card is the Queen of Wands. So this really feels like Venus moving into Aries to me, because we've got the Queen, which is this divine feminine energy, but look how strong and confident she seems, how self-assured she is. The suit of Wands is the suit of fire, and it's the suit of the spiritual, the creative level. So this is the divine feminine standing in her purpose, standing in her power, taking action, making confident moves. She's feeling, again, like she is ready to take on the world, so to speak. This is Venus moving into Aries, I think. So this card, I feel like, really does relate to Wednesday, the 30th, when Venus does shift out of Pisces, which has its own gifts, but Pisces is more about intuition and emotions and feelings and healing, and it's a water sign. Now she's in this fiery, passionate sign of Aries. So I really think that this relates to that. And look at all the reds and the orange and the yellow. This is our root chakra, center of security and stability, in our sacral chakra, passion and creative self-expression, our solar plexus chakra, willpower, confidence, courage, leadership. So all of these lower chakras, or the bottom three chakras that we pay attention to mostly, is being activated here with Venus moving into Aries. Now, this is interesting because I usually try to stick with 3 cards unless there's more cards that are just kind of falling out, flopping out, or wanting to come out. And this card fell out of the deck after I chose that first card that ends up being the Queen of Wands. This card fell out. It showed itself to me. It was in a reversed motion, and most of you that have watched me for some time know that I don't really use reverse cards. Sometimes, but very, very rarely. So I picked up this card, I put it back in the deck, and I kept shuffling, and it flew out again. Same card in reversed as it was showing itself to me. So I was like, okay, apparently I'm needing to show this card. And this is the King of Wands, but it's reversed. So this is what it looks like in its upright motion, right? We've got the Queen of Wands came out first, the King of Wands reversed. So this is the masculine energy, right? Venus is a feminine planet, but she's moving into a masculine sign. Aries is a masculine sign of the zodiac. But he turned up reversed both times that he fell out of the deck. So I feel like this is the divine feminine that is utilizing the power of the divine masculine in an appropriate way, rather than a way that is aggressive or disempowering or controlling. I feel like maybe she's also, this is an either or kind of thing, or she's needing to balance that disempowering divine masculine within her. Like maybe now that she's in her power and she feels confident again, maybe she might be more prone to abuse some of the control or the aggression or the anger or the assertiveness or whatever it might be. So whether it's us, and we all have a divine, I shouldn't say divine, we all have a feminine and a masculine side to us. Whether or not it's in its divine state, we don't know. I mean, you probably know for yourself. But I feel like the feminine within us might be grappling with the masculine within us, and trying to merge the two energies of masculine and feminine within ourselves appropriately, so that rather than it being out of balance, or rather than the masculine energy being misused or abused, right? We kind of do want to turn it upright. We want it to be this divine masculine energy, which is more directive in a positive way, authoritative in a positive way, take charge in a positive way, coming up with creative ideas in a positive way, right? We want to use these two as they're kind of, the feminine and the masculine here in the same element. We want to utilize them appropriately in a balanced way together. So maybe this is more about either dealing with yourself and the imbalance of that masculine, or there could be dealing with other people. Obviously, the court cards often deals with other people in our lives, to where there's an imbalance coming out, right? Where some of this more headstrong, impatient, aggressive sort of energy, that maybe it's coming out and being directed at you. So either way, there's something here to pay attention to with the feminine and masculine within you. So let's look at the next card. The next card is another Wands, but it's the Three of Wands. So as I look at the astrology for this week, this really feels like Venus connecting with Neptune to me. Because again, Venus is a planet of blessings. And she's moving into active, action-oriented Aries, passionate Aries. But as she connects with Neptune, and Neptune rules that spiritual realm and the realm of vision, imagination, inspiration, spiritual inspiration, I feel like this is what this is, because this person is sitting on a bed or a bench or something like that, and envisioning what it is they desire. And since Venus is a planet of blessings, she is a planet that attracts and magnetizes things to her, right? That's why she's known as kind of this goddess of love, because she can attract and magnetize these blessings, not just love blessings, but any kind of blessings. She rules money and finances too. She can attract what she wants. And this person is attracting through visualization what they desire. Their ship is coming in. This is just metaphoric. They might be visualizing a ship. Maybe they want a ship. But it's representing whatever it is that they desire. New website, new job, new career, new money, new friends, new romance, new whatever, new living situation. So the ship is metaphoric for the blessing. And this person is visualizing and imagining the blessing, but not in an active stance. Venus in Aries will be a little bit more active, but when she connects with Neptune on Friday, she's more in this mode of faith, trust, and surrender, which this person is. I'm seeing what I desire. I'm imagining what I desire. I'm seeing the color of it. I'm seeing all the details of it. And then they're in this surrender mode, this trust and faith mode, that the ship, the blessing, the opportunity is just going to come in. It's just going to be attracted in. So this is what I think that the Three of Wands is about. I think it's about that Venus with Neptune. So if it goes the way it has been going, this means that the third card should be representative of Pluto going retrograde in some way, shape, or form. So let's take a look at that. And it even has Pluto on it. Isn't that interesting? This is Major Arcana 20. It's Judgment. It's Major Arcana, the Judgment card. And this particular deck, the Tarot of Dreams, does have astrological symbols on it. You can see that with the Three of Wands. It's got the Sun in Aries. Now, it's Venus that's really in Aries, but we still have this Aries quality, right? And the sun is about self-expression. So there's an expression of this Aries quality here with the Three of Wands. Here with the Judgment card, we've got Pluto. And this is exactly what we're talking about. You can't just make this stuff up, right? So on Sunday the 4th, Pluto goes retrograde in Aquarius. And here's Judgment. So what is Judgment about? Some of the keywords for the Judgment card. Well, first and foremost, it's about awakening. Here we've got this, like, we've almost got these angel wings, right? Up here at the top. And maybe this is an angel face. So we've got this awakening going on. This renewal is another keyword for the Judgment card. So awakening, renewal. Pluto rules the subconscious, the underworld, right? So we've got self-evaluation, digging down deep, looking beneath the surface, and going through a self-evaluation process. Of course, the Judgment card is about some sort of transition. We've got these souls or aspects of different past lives maybe that we've had. And there's this transition or this reconnection with some of those energies and a deeper understanding of what all of that may mean, those old patterns. This can be about a pivotal moment, the Judgment card. It's the second to the last of the major arcana. So we're getting to the end of what we call the Fool's Journey in the tarot, right? So after the Judgment card is the World card, which is a card of completion. At that point, we've completed some soul lesson. You know, we've gained some sort of understanding or awareness about something. But with Judgment, we're close, but not all the way there. So this is going to, again, be about some pivotal moment that happens. This can be about surrendering an old aspect of self so that a new vision can be embraced. A new vision of ourselves, a new vision of our lives, a new vision of our direction, a new vision of our soul purpose, a new vision of our soul's truth, if I didn't say that already. You know, that can be embraced as we're letting go and surrendering. And maybe this is part of the surrendering of the old aspects of self. So there's a lot going on here in this card, ending the week with Pluto turning retrograde. So look for some powerful energies of awakening and renewal and transition, you know, going on throughout this week and as we near the weekend when Pluto shifts to retrograde motion. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the special message card depending on your stone of choice this week. So we'll give this a little quick shuffle. And then that first stone of choice was the red coral. All right, so red coral people, special message for the week for red coral people. This one's calling my attention. Okay, you know what? No, it's not coming out, so I guess that's a no. Let's try it again. There's actually two cards there, and neither one of them were coming out. Okay, so red coral. Red coral. Okay, this one, definitely. Oh, red coral. It says cave, sanctuary. So I did say Pluto rules the underworld. And so you might want to like pull back your energies. You might feel like you want some alone time, some self-reflection time. You might feel like you want to go out into the wilderness. You know, this can be metaphoric or it could be real. Maybe you want to go out into the woods and go to a log cabin somewhere by yourself. There's this wanting to kind of hide away a little bit. It's not like hiding. It's more like a need for self-protection, a need to protect your energy, a need to go within, a need to do some meditation, a need to understand on a deeper level something that's going on and happening. This person is writing on the cave wall. Maybe you want to do some journaling. So maybe this is finding your inner sanctuary and some quiet alone time where you can write down your thoughts, write down what you're going through, write down the evolution and growth that you've seen yourself go through for the last 3 months, 6 months, year, etc. So, you know, if nothing else, I feel like just going out in nature too, finding a clearing, a spot in the woods, a spot on a bench near the water, although this shows more of a mountainous terrain, it doesn't really matter. I think that, you know, just just again, just sitting in quiet and contemplation and having that kind of inner and, if possible, outer sanctuary to just withdraw. To me, if you're going into a cave, you're withdrawing your energy, and that would be very Plutonian in nature. Okay. They're saying to reflect on what's going on the subconscious level, reflect on what's going on the subconscious level, old patterns. Okay. So the second stone of choice was the ruby pendant. I feel like the one on the bottom, my fingers were kind of touching and like lighting up a little bit. So tree, grounding, okay? So you might need, with Pluto retrograde, maybe it's stirring something up. Maybe it's unearthing something. Maybe it's unearthing something within yourself or outside of yourself. Maybe there's a situation that's, I don't want to say making you, but for lack of a better way to say it, it's causing you to feel a little ungrounded. So the tree is symbolic of needing to ground yourself. This could be, again, actually going out in nature. This is the Earth Magic deck. So let's go out in nature and touch the tree, hug the tree, sit at the base of the tree, meditate with the tree. So you could actually be with the tree. This can be metaphoric of you imagining that you're the tree in meditation. Like I'm sitting here in my home office. I can imagine that I am the tree. My arms and fingers are the branches and the leaves. My, the main part of my body down through my legs is the trunk of the tree. And then imagine that through the soles of your feet, you've got the roots of the tree coming out of the soles of your feet, going down through Earth Mother Gaia, going deep down through the layers of the earth and grounding you. There's a need to be grounded. You could do some earthing, which is walking barefoot on the earth or sand. You could do some gardening. You could do working with plants, or maybe taking flower essences. Flowers are from the natural world, flowers, plants, taking kind of plant medicine or flower essences or something like that. Even crystal essences or working with crystals, if they're the right crystals, can be grounding in nature. So we need some sort of focus, stability this week. So in any way, shape, or form that you can find that stability, bring in or create that stability for yourself, that's going to be needed. All right, let's put that back in the deck. And then the last stone of choice was the raw carnelian. Message for raw carnelian people. This one's calling my attention. Ooh, well, this is nice. Waterfall. Be like the waterfall and just flow. Just allow yourself to go with the flow. The waterfall says effortless at the top. So if you can just surrender, this is like the Venus connecting with Neptune, right? To trust, have faith, and just surrender and go with the flow of the waterfall. Let it just, move you, basically. And water is our feelings and our emotional body, too. So if it feels right, if it feels good, go that way. If you're feeling like this decision or that thought or that direction is a little off, it's making you feel a little anxious or something, listen to that. Go where the flow is leading you. Go the direction where it feels most free and effortless. Okay? Flow with your feelings, the positive feelings of happiness, joy, peace. Things that bring in the idea of abundance or blessings. So just allow this to go where it will. Allow yourself to go where it will. Practice that in your daily life this week. Practice getting in the car. You're not using your GPS or maps. I mean, you can still have that, right? But just drive somewhere. Just go with the flow and use your intuition and say, I'm going to drive down this street. I've never been down here before. Let's go down here. Let's go over here. And maybe if you are on your way to a destination, first, give yourself time to just go with the flow and see where it takes you. See all these new kind of wonderful things that you can see or feel or sense. And then you can turn on your GPS and get to where you need to go. But try that, flowing or doing artistic or creative endeavors where you just let your mind be free and you just let the pen and the paper do the work for you. And you see what flows out. See what comes out. Let it be effortless. Try to allow life to be effortless this week. All right, everybody, thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed the weekly reading, sending you lots of love and light and peace and grounding for this week. And I will see you in the next weekly and hopefully the next monthly reading. Namaste, everyone.